who has consented to be the guest for this session. I request Dr. Rajesh Sharma again to kindly welcome Mr. Kush Tyagi, who happens to be our alumni 5-7 batch. So it's so nice to have you here. 4-7, okay. 4-7, right. Fine, because I think I won't stand long here between you and digital marketing experts. We have with us Mr. Kush Tyagi, Senior Manager, Enterprise Business, Infibeam.com, and his alumni 4-7 batch pass out. His marketing profession with experience of nearly 8 years across various sectors like banking, FMCG, media and digital. Worked for companies like Dabur, Barclays, Standard Chartered, Coca-Cola, Samita Media, Phoenix Group and Infibeam, that number of brands for the last 8 years, good number of brands. So that talks of the experience that we will carry forward to the dais, and I will request to the audience and to Mr. Kush Tyagi also and to Mr. Anand also that we would like to make the session more interactive, because the students ask questions, that means they are actually absorbing, taking back, and actually it's helping them to groom themselves further for the sector. So I hand over to Mr. Kush Tyagi right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, very good.
You'll be starting your second year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You might have seen me around a couple of times and I'll come here too. So let's start with what? What do you want to start with? E-commerce or digital marketing?
E-commerce.
E-commerce. Okay, so I am working with Infibeam for the past 5 months, and how many of you know about Infibeam? Only 4 or 5 of them, except ma'am. So although we were one of the initial startups in e-commerce, we have not grown that much. If you are reading Economic Times, do you do that? I mean, a lot of teachers must have told you to read Economic Times and Times of India. Do you do that, guys?
Yes.
So there was an article about us today and yesterday also. Any ideas? Not a problem. So we just launched our IPO today, yesterday. We are the first e-commerce company to launch an IPO in India. This must tell you a lot of things about e-commerce. It's growing like anything. This is the time of e-commerce. Last week, the people, guys like you and I did my graduation from here and then I moved to IMT after a couple of years. I did my postgrad from IMT. And we have seen an tremendous increase in people going from FMCG and other sectors to the e-commerce sectors. Last year alone, we had seen an increase of 35% nearly people who were placed in e-commerce companies. Because one, we are growing like anything. The e-commerce sector has a growth rate of around 50% per year. And also, we are expanding. We need a lot of people, a lot of young blood to come in. All of the e-commerce companies, they are mostly made of people who are young. Basically Infibeam, if I take my example, my company, the average age is around 30, 32 is the maximum average age. People are young. And we have a very good team. The bonding is there. We have to interact with people from our generation only, so it becomes very easy. So a lot of freshers are being taken from our sector, from MBA colleges. I personally took 2 of your seniors from under my team only. So they're working great here. So you should target e-commerce as a potential sector where you can visit. And there are a lot of opportunities there. In e-commerce, you have to, there is finance management, there is HR management, business intelligence, strategic allegiances, mergers and acquisitions. So there are lots and lots of different fields. And like I told you, it's growing like anything. The market share of e-commerce currently is around 5%. So that is, if I'm not wrong, around $40 billion in India as of now, and we are expecting to grow by around 60 next year. that is the expectation, and the way it's been growing, the industry is growing, we'll surely surpass it. So that is just in a gist about the e-commerce industry. The skills you would require, basically, let's talk about the skills too. It's very different from others industry. Since the roles are not that well defined, because companies have been, they have come into the market for the past 4 or 5 years. They are nascent, in the nascent stages, they are not so well structured and defined. So you have to at a time probably take on 2-3 roles. You have to handle sales, you also have to handle logistics, you have to handle marketing and everything. So for example, if you go to a banking sector, there the roles are much more defined. You know what you have to do, there is a single point of plan and you have to go according to it. But in e-commerce it is a little different. You have to, as I told you, juggle between a lot of roles. So it becomes difficult, and currently whatever MBA courses are teaching, they are more about the general sectors. I am not really in sync with what they are teaching right now, but I remember, since I keep on visiting MBA colleges, there the courses are not in time for e-commerce. I mean, not in sync with e-commerce. They are very different. The skills they impart are actually more towards the normal sectors, the sectors which have always been there, like FMCG and your banking sector. So MBA is much more focused towards that. For e-commerce, you have to have a little different mindset from generally what we have in the MBA sector. You go. There are a lot of the problems which we in e-commerce which we face is very different from the problems in other sectors. So also, if my friend would agree with me, we are much more a logistic company than an e-commerce company. To excel in e-commerce, you have to have a good base and a good stronghold in logistics. Infobip has its own logistics company, and most of you must have heard that e-commerce is not a profitable business, but we are the only profit-making e-commerce company in India. One of the reasons is because also we have our own logistics company, plus also we are into a lot of B2B activities, which now Flipkart has also taken up. So Flipkart is basically following our model. They have now opened their own logistics company, plus they are also moving into B2B. So from that point of you can look into B2B also. B2B is much similar to any other B2B company in the main sectors. The B2B here is very similar to that, but then again the delivery part is there, and basically there's not a lot of competition, and we get a lot of discounts. So a lot of B2B companies for gifting, for their own employee purchase programs, they are coming to us. So that is basically the gist about the e-commerce scenario now. So let's now make it, as ma'am said, let's make it a little interactive. Any of you have any questions specifically you want to ask me? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Sir, as you have said that e-commerce sector is growing, but then few months back, in fact in class also we have discussed, the e-commerce sector, all the e-commerce companies are in losses. So how do you...
I give an example of our company which is not in loss. They are in losses because, as I told you, the logistic part is there, and they are pushing in for a lot of discount. Have you seen? They are pushing in for a lot of discount from the vendors and the merchants. So what eventually happens is, to build the customer base, they are putting in money from their own pockets. So most of the companies have, since they got funding, so they do not have a problem in doing that. But I am sure their market plans are like that, they'll achieve a lot of profits by the 2020 or 2080. Long-term profit plans are there. That is what they are, right? I'm not wrong. So, any more questions, guys? You can shoot a topic, we can talk on that, that's not a problem. You want to know more about e-commerce?
Can I ask a question?
Sure, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, I try. Okay, I have a question from the student's perspective. You're saying that it's not domain knowledge that matters in the e-commerce sector. Then what are those attributes, or I'd say what are those skill sets which are being required to get into this sector?
Yeah, the skill set.
I can add one more thing. What are the career opportunities available to them? And corresponding to those, what are the skills?
Okay, career opportunities are there like in every other business. So I told you there is marketing management, operations, then there in-stock management, which comes into operations again, IT. I mean, all the sectors are existing there. Skill set would be, first of all, your communication has to be really good. Your communication has not only to be good in the verbal sense, it has to be good in the written sense also. Because a lot of things, sometimes what happens is we have to place some product online and there is nobody available from the tech team. So I sometimes myself put in the description of the product online. So, your written skill have to be good also. Plus, I'll add the digital marketing part also. If you're in digital marketing, then again your written skills have to be really good. You have to see what the audience will not take offense, what will reach to your audience directly. So generally, people are very keen on good spoken skills, but you have to be good in written skills also. Then another part of communication would be you will have to deal with any and every kind of people. So there will be sometimes orders for people who cannot even operate mobiles. I'll give you an example. Our company does a lot of B2B sales for a lot of companies. For Asian Paints, we were doing a project wherein we were giving this gifting to all of their distributors and even to the level of carpenters, those people who used to paint. So they do not know how to operate a computer or a mobile for that matter. So what we did was, in their case, we gave a special number with our customer care team, and the orders were taken verbally. He just have a pamphlet and he know which all products are there. He just give an order verbally and ask them to see, I have this, मुझे ये mobile चाहिए, ये वाला particular mobile चाहिए. They do not even know how to speak in English, or for that matter, sometimes they do not know how to speak in Hindi. There are regional languages also. So this is the extent of communication you are looking into, and sometimes for a large order, you might have to yourself talk to the client, who is a person like, who's a lala in a small town in, let's say, Eta. There was this order which happened in Eta. It was an order for around 15 iPhones, and it was a big order. And there were a lot of problems with it, so we had to talk to him. So you should be ready to, talk to any kind of people. It's not you don't only need finesse, you also need to be rustical in that sense, to talk to people on the base level also. Then another thing is, I'm talking a lot about communications, you will have to listen also. It's not about speaking, you have to listen what the customer, vendor, merchant, whatever they want. So when you are placing orders, so I'll tell you how e-commerce works. In B2B is very different from B2C. B2C is just go to a brand, buy bulk and place it on your portal that this is going in discounts and all. In B2B, you get a specific order for a specific amount, and the amount of the product is also limited to an extent. So you have to go to a merchant, or probably we prefer brands, and then we go to vendors, and then we go to merchants. So this is how I think every e-commerce is placed. So you have to haggle with them a lot. For B2B orders, you personally have to go to them, talk to them that I want this order. Even if the order is worth crores of rupees, he'll haggle with you like, आप एक coffee खरीद रहे हो, 50 पैसे की, 2 रुपए का. I mean, 2 rupees is also a big difference. If the number is 1500, so 2 rupees makes 3,000 rupees, and we are earning very low margins. So for us, 2 rupees on a product is also a big thing. So you have to keep that in mind also. Then you have to be driven. It is, since the business is growing, you cannot be complacent. You cannot take time off. I mean, e-commerce is a lot about energy, and the working hours are bad. I mean, not very bad, but they are bad. It starts a little late in the morning, and you can see him laughing, so he's agreeing with me on that. We start late in the morning. Generally, we have flexi timings in my company. I don't know about others. So you can come and drop in any time till 11. It's not a problem. But then you have to complete 8.5 hours, and generally those 8.5 hours may be more like 10. So you should understand that there is a lot of effort driven into the business. And as one more important thing I told earlier also, it's multi-roles. You are not faced in a single role. You have to, you're the face of the company wherever you are going. So you are PR also, you are marketing also, probably not HR, but yes, all of the other roles. So I think you're sleeping. It's okay, it's okay. So I think that answers your question to the...
Yeah, what I could make out was communication skills at all levels.
At all levels,
yeah,
yes.
communication means actually, the other person is able to understand what you're saying and you are actually able to make out and promote it into a business. That's what I understand communication means. Okay, anything, I was just thinking on these lines. If I say attitude, right? I see it as as one of the skills or the
mindset.
Yeah, mindset which is required to take up all those participating roles. If audience have any other question or anything you think that okay, that can be a skill which can be added to get into e-commerce if you're looking forward to.
Sure.
So any technical skills specifically what you guys are looking for? Must for this sector?
Not exactly. I mean, it depends on which portion you're going to. If you're going for IT, yes, specifically you'll probably prefer engineers because there's a lot of coding involved, and especially in my company, we are also making e-commerce portals for other companies, and we are also into website designing, a lot of other stuff, digital stuff. So we require people with engineering capabilities, IT engineering capabilities, and otherwise there are other courses also. If you want to go to e-commerce, so there is an Institute of E-commerce companies, IECC if I am not wrong, they are offering some courses, and then there is ICSIL if I am not wrong, and it's a government body, they are also offering courses on e-commerce. So you can look into that if you want. Yeah, please.
Yeah, as you told that in e-commerce you need specific expertise in different fields, so you get to work in different fields rather than working in a single domain.
Yeah.
So how much time do you give to your employees, new hired employees, to get adjusted to the roles? I mean, I want to ask, if someone is not comfortable with one role and he lets you know, then do you give time or what is the procedure?
I'll talk about my company. In that sense, my company is very good. The working environment is very great, and if somebody is not excelling at something, we do not push him out of the company. We'll move him into another job. So like if somebody is not working in sales, we move him to key account management. And if he's not working there also, so we'll find places for him. But there is a number of chances we will give. It's not about you're not doing anything and you're shifting everywhere. That does not happen. But yes, in that terms, my company is really good. I know about Snapdeal. It's not like that in Snapdeal. Snapdeal, you have to work or you get kicked out. Because one of your the alumni from here, your super serious person who works with, who used to study with me, very good friend, he is in Snapdeal right now. So another good thing about e-commerce is when we passed out, we are a bunch of 5-6 friends, really close, and out of those 5 of us are working in e-commerce companies. Snapdeal, AskMe.com, me in Infibeam and Cards on Brand, and then there is one person in Groupon. So you can understand that half of us are, not half of us, all of us are nearly working in e-commerce companies at this point of time. So e-commerce is the next thing to be. I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah. I have another question. In China, Jack Ma is like a godly figure to the e-commerce companies and to most of the people who are in, remote areas. He has provided products to them also. So in India also, do you think that Alibaba's concept is relevant and it is?
It is already working to an extent. Infibeam is doing a project with Government of India under e-governance, wherein we are approaching 2 lakh BLEs, that's village level entrepreneurs. We will make online stores for every village. So that's like 2 lakh villages, and we'll sell all of their products online. So all of the handicrafts right now which are being sold to a lot of towns, there are a lot of people in between. So the person who's making it will get the money directly. So that is, I think that's already there, but not in the mainstream e-commerce probably, because we are again focusing on that specifically. Snapdeal will also come for that. They have engaged a channel specifically for rural areas. So rural markets is more about selling. Their buying capabilities are low as of now. It's not about the money, it's about tech also. So they're not really accessible to all kinds of technology. But tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they are seeing a huge growth in number of orders we are getting a lot of orders from tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
So one more question. Technically, are you differentiating between e-commerce and digital marketing, or they are not the same thing?
Yeah, no, they are very different things. So the e-commerce
is very different.
Sure. E-commerce is basically about selling products. That's the whole gist of it. And digital marketing is about selling the brand. That is the main difference between both of them. Digital marketing, the areas are much more. See, now digital marketing is into Facebook, Twitter, and they can name the third one, which should be the most important in case of digital marketing. No idea, right?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah, these are the three. The most used ones. Google Plus has lagged behind like anything. LinkedIn is much more specific, but these three are the top ones. Most of the digital marketing in social media is around these three. Then you go into search engine optimization, search engine marketing, which I know all of you must be very familiar with. But it's a very tricky thing these days because Google is constantly upgrading their spiders. If you know what spiders are, basically what Google does is when you type into anything in Google, they do not search from the internet. They have an index created with them already. They search in the index. So their program is called Spiders. What this program does is basically it goes from time to time, it goes to every site, checks out the metadata, the hashtags and all on that site to see what the site is really all about. So earlier we could cheat a lot. We could to increase a lot of hits on our website. The metadata could be something like for example, it could be all about e-commerce, and at that point of time there was a huge growth in ticketing, or let's say take any pick. There's a growth in cinema. So in our metadata we could add, the metadata is basically properties of what your page has. So there are some keywords which you describe for your page. It's on the backend, it's on the software side, HTML. So you can edit them on your own. And if you change them anywhere, earlier you could change them to anything. Even if you're selling socks, you could keep them to selling refrigerators. So that used to get a lot of hits. But now Google is continuously upgrading that. You cannot do that anymore. If you're cheating things like that, if you're writing things which you're not doing, so they automatically take you out of the top 10. And nobody goes up to the second page. Generally, people look at the top 10 available only or available searches. So that is in a gist about digital marketing tools. So if I have answered your question.
So if we narrow down the skill sets to a particular job profile, say for example a buyer or assistant buyer or merchandisers, then what is the kind of experience and education that you're looking for?
See, experience for a merchandiser or buyer would be somebody who's into sort of client management earlier. It is, I've seen a lot of merchandise sitting next to me. So we have basically divided into categories: electronics and apparels and all. And then we have in those segments also we have people specifically who are looking for looking after phones, people who are looking after such kind of phones, normal phones, iPhones and all of that. So you have to basically you have to go into market research also. You have to look at the number of brands available, what are the options available in this cost. You have to make that up, and then you have to talk to the person. And it is more often in e-commerce, it is more often the vendor you are talking to, the distributor of a company, because brands deal with us only in very large orders, which happens once in 2 months or once in a month. For Infibeam, other companies do it differently. So so you have to have a good skill in talking to people earlier. You have to understand how to handle with them, how to get them to give you the discounts you want. So that is something you have to have.
People like us who are freshers, what is the kind of role that we'll be fitting in?
The freshers I hired from your college one is into assistant. He's an assistant manager for Build a Bazaar only under me, and the other one is for key account management. So those are, the roles are very simple, not really tough, but key account manager is tougher in the sense that you have to say, if you're not used to the people, the way they talk to you is not really good. So you might have a problem with that. And then sales, especially in Build a Bazaar, is very difficult. So Build a Bazaar is basically wherein we make e-commerce sites for other brands. So it is very difficult. It is something niche, and not a lot of people are interested in it. That is also a tough thing. So you have to keep that in mind. Anything else? Sure, please.
So we see generally that the youth switches the company, one company to another company for due to the money and to grow in the career.
Yes.
And to grow in the career. So what does your company do to keep that guy in the company?
See, it depends a lot. I mean, if you're a fresher, then you wouldn't know, but if you're working, you would know. It depends a lot on your boss. Firstly, the most important thing is money is into consideration a lot, but if you do not have a good relationship with your bosses, it does not work out, even if you're getting a lot of money. Probably that will happen after 1 year, but it does happen a lot. In our company, the working environment is great. I mean, I have worked in the past 5 years, I have worked in 7 companies. So you can understand the number of jobs I have changed. But and I also started my own business which flopped, then I joined this company. But it is a very good, the mix here is very good. Your seniors, when they were, I was interviewing them. So after the interview, she asked me that how the company all about. I said that they are not that good pay masters. They are a little below the industry average, but it's a great place to work in. So this is about Infibeam. Snapdeal, the place is great, but the work pressure is a lot. Here the work pressure is not that great. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And the money thing, as you said, see, a lot of teachers will also tell you, the money things come into play in the first couple of years only. After that, you understand what you want from your life, you know what your goals are. So money then takes into consideration. At that point of time, it's much better. First couple of years, I think you should learn more on the job and focus less on the money. So your senior was asking me that she wants to leave the organization after 8-10 months. So I told her that it's not about, first of all, your CV does not look good if you leave your first company after 6-8 months. Secondly, it's also about the working environment. If you're leaving for somewhere which pays you a lot, so it wouldn't really, the difference would be, let's say, 10,000 rupees. But if you're not really happy in the office, those 10,000 really does not help, That's my take on it. You will have probably a different say about it. So, what do you think? What according to you is a better thing? Have a better paying job or have a good working environment?
According to me, the working environment should be great, so that.
No, don't tell me because I am speaking like that. Just tell me what you feel.
According to me, sir,
okay. I'm sure a lot of you.
There should be a mind satisfaction also, sir. That yes, I am working in a good environment with good colleagues.
So that does happen. I also agree with you now. I did not used to earlier. I used to change companies a lot because I wanted more money. But since I wasted all of that away, I want more job security, and I want a place where I will be really happy to work in. So you understand probably down the line. For some people, it's not always about money. It's about other things also. So there was another gentleman who was asking a question. Yeah.
For example,
I don't have to stand up all the time, man.
Person has done an internship from any FMCG company, and then he's looking for, during college placement time, he's looking for career growth or career in e-commerce company. So will he be considered as?
Sure. See, your internships are they are not treated as experience for the job. They are treated as a grooming experience for your skills. So you do not have to, you should not confuse them with it's not an experience. The person, if you're going for an interview, will try to gauge what all you learned from that, what were your experiences there. That is all. It is not about, if you've done an summer internship in Coke, you do not have to be, you cannot be taken into an e-commerce company. There is nothing like that. Any more questions?
So how would you describe the growth prospects available to the employees of Infibeam?
See, growth prospects as per money are okay, they're not really good. I mean, we have our appraisals just ended, so there have been appraised from 8% to 30% with ESOPs. So, but it is generally not that great. The percentage is around 10-12%, which I personally think is not good. But there are people who think that is good. So if you go into big companies like Times of India, the Times Group, they have a percentage of around 5 or 6%. So generally, traditionally, these companies pay you less. Our companies, e-commerce companies, they pay a lot higher than most of the companies. The incentives and the pay hikes and all are good as compared to the other sectors.
And if you're not talking about, I mean, in terms of money, if it's about the movement in the hierarchy.
That is a good question too, sir. Since I told you earlier that you get to learn a lot of things, so you can be moved to other places also. So let's say after some point of time you're not really interested in key account management and you have skill set specific to marketing or digital marketing, so they can move you there. Or you want to go into let's say operations, logistics. So those things do happen a lot because you have an all-around experience of everything. So that happens. So you can change fields also, which becomes very difficult in other companies. So for example, in an FMCG, if you are into sales, you cannot move into HR. That's next to impossible.
So do we need to learn the tools of digital marketing? Like you have...
It's no harm. Yeah, you should. I mean, and in fact, a good example during an interview would be if you find some problem with Snapdeal, it is always good. I personally feel if you have you see a spot a problem for any company, you should tell them on their faces. You know, you should, that way the person will also realize that this person knows stuff and is not, he's not intimidated. He knows how to speak his mind. That works great for that. And knowing tools is not bad. You know, you're always using e-commerce. I know most of you use a lot. So if you're going for any company, take a good look at their website and read a lot about them. That's what the professors tell you. But also e-commerce, you can see how their working is. I'll tell you an example about me. We were about to launch olive oil, which is not transported by a lot of companies, but Flipkart was doing that. I wanted to know which courier company was selling oil for Flipkart. So what I did was I ordered oil from Flipkart specifically because they were not telling me. I was not getting any inputs on that. So I made a dummy order and got it and then cancelled it. So I got to know at least with my, they send you SMSs, right? So I got to know which courier company it was. So you have to be, that's smart also. If you're going for an interview in marketing, so you look at what the marketing strategy of the company is, how is Snapdeal marketing and all of that.
So the tools like SEM and SEO.
That's for digital marketing specifically.
Like you have done the SEO, I think.
Yes, after doing SEO and SEO for quite some time, I realized that it's more about experience. Used to be. Then I did a diploma in digital marketing. So yes, you can do that also, but that was on the job. So for digital marketing, you have to really be into a lot of digital stuff. You have to surf the internet for at least 2 hours a day. Not for your own thing, for only just looking at the internet. What are the current trends? What's trending basically on the internet, and then also how are the search engine tools changing day by day. So you have to keep that in mind also. Anybody else?
So we have seen that the Flipkart and the Snapdeals show the discounted price and the price is something else. So what does the customer's rate goes down from that website? So what does the Infibeam
Infibeam is very different from those companies. See, we do not offer those heavy discounts. We are much more, we have a lot of tie-ups with a lot of brands, and our merchants go through a much stricter phase when they are entering into the organization for selling. So we have instances of, empty packets being delivered instead of iPhones or a store being there. So that happened with us only twice, and we are the authorized online resellers of Apple iPhones in India from Apple itself. So for that, it's not always about the company. There are sometimes it's because of the courier boy also who's taking it. If he knows what's inside the package, he might tamper with it. So it's not always about the company. And about the prices, that is basically, you cannot comment on that. It could be something wrong which the person the techie guy who's uploading it, he could have also done that. But generally companies would not do that.